The moon tear beckons from the Durgar city of Gracklstool, but your band grows weary. Lies tear at the foundation of your fellowship, while uncertainty nips at your heels. How far will the gilded ordained by the works of Tasilis Chafir and the unthinkably powerful Belafos the Mad? The shadows seem to writhe this deep inside the world, and you move over crags and catwalks, through caverns and alongside underground lakes, until the City of Blades looms massive up ahead. Your band stops to rest in the sight of those imposing, emotionless ramparts, and as the camp is set, your mind wanders once more. In the silence of rest, you find a different kind of peace.
Hey, wake up, you flailing beast! You're scaring the wolves! You were thrashing around in your sleep. The trail boss thought you might need to be brutally murdered.
This is not your time.
Tell me about it. I keep dreaming that the world's gonna end. And then I wake up. And much to my disappointment, everything's still here. But we're not being paid to stand round and talk about dreams. Belafos is waiting for your ugly hide at the bridge. He's probably up there causing mischief as we speak. Of course not, you blasted wretch. That fool halfling is dead and rotten in the ground. Now get you going. The mad one isn't known for being patient. Maybe you should be asking him that. It's not really me place to speak for the Master. Belafos will fill you in when you meet him at the bridge.
This is not your time.
Aye, unless you want to be flayed, deboned, and served to the Vrox for chum, you should. Can't say I'd rightly mind seeing that, to be honest. Now get going. The world won't be ending itself.
You will live on through.
I can do that. At once. I can do that. Right away. As you wish. I can do that. Of course. Right away. As you wish. At once. I can do that. As you wish. At once. I can do that. As you wish. Of course. I can do that. At once. Right away. As you wish. I can do that. Of course.
Fine morning to you. I was just feasting on the entrails of these innocents, all in a day's work for Belafos Deathbringer. I was searching for wasted souls, and I heard these people praying. As you know, I have a bit of a temper. There, I hear the glorious screaming of abandoned friends, the crunching of splintered bone. coward. Run along. Try to protect your friends back at your camp. You will see what comes of them in the end.
Take this!
Right away. As you wish, at once.
We must talk. I cannot abide that Ishkin creature's treatment of my mentor's corpse. He desecrates her memory by his mere presence, and I will not stand for it. That said, this quest is as much yours as mine, and I understand why we need him. So please, do me the favor of asking Ishkin to allow Tezere's corpse to be buried. Thank you. It will put my heart to rest once my good mentor has received her final rites. Now we can talk about something else. In reading through Tezere's journals, I have found a peculiar list. On it are names of people she tried to save, and one of them is my childhood friend, Serik. If he lives, then I am not the only survivor of my village. The list says that he was being held captive by a drow priestess named Zinciana. I have never heard that name, but I wonder if perhaps our resident spy has. I would appreciate it if you could speak to Dalinir about this. If he knows the name, he might know where we could find Zinciana, and perhaps Serik. Yes, he was. If the gods smile on us this day, and we can save him from captivity, then perhaps I have been forgiven for my childhood mistake. I shall continue my tale. Tezere. I feel both pain and joy upon remembering her. She was the kindest woman I ever knew, and she was a drow. Several decades after I was enslaved by the drow, I met Tezere. She was masquerading as a slave, making plans to liberate us from captivity. By then, most of us were too afraid to dare, but something told me to trust her, and her plan succeeded. I and a few other slaves, mostly human and dwarven, found our freedom. Tezere was a priestess of Illustre, the drow goddess of kindness and beauty. I had no idea such a goddess existed, but her truth shined through in Tezere's every action. She revealed to me the importance of faith, but also taught me how to survive the Underdark, how to fight, to forage for food, to hide from Duergar patrols. Lastly, she pointed the way to the surface world. When I reached the surface, I swore my faith to Sehanine Moonbow and promised to retrieve her relic. In the name of Tezere, I have remained faithful ever since. And that concludes my tale. What there is that's worth the telling. Thank you for hearing me. It does me good to think on Tezere and her kindness. I hope that in fulfilling our quest, I do even the slightest justice to her memory. I am sorry. Finding Tezere's body here, it has shaken me. And that foul creature's treatment of her only makes it worse. The Lady of Dreams go with you.
What do you need? Liddy's pretty broken up about Tezere. I hate seeing her like this. All right, where were we? After my mother died, I was pretty low. I didn't know how to support myself without taking jobs, but I didn't want to do anything to disrespect my ma's memory. I wound up taking a merchant escort job for nearly nothing, and that took me out near the Evermoors. Along the way, we found this young elven priestess. She was hungry, deeply wounded, but confident, passionate. She joined the caravan and we became friends. She was just getting to know her goddess back then, and I got to see the faith bloom in her. Nothing more glorious in the world than an elf finding her way. Since then, we've been inseparable. We've kept each other safe, and she stopped me from heading back down the wrong path. That's all there is to it. Dreams wander, and she's likely the best woman I'll ever meet. But we're not there. We're closer than family. Someday, maybe. But, yeah. Thanks for listening to me prattle on. Now you know me better than my own mother. Like most people, I guess. Don't be a stranger.
What can I do for you? You best not trust that Darrow any further than you could throw him. We might need him for the quest, but he wouldn't hesitate to toss us down a ravine if he decided it'd be fun. All right. Where were we? I helped out in the forge as far back as I can remember. Me da said I'd a natural hammer-swinging arm, and that I knew how to centre myself to get extra power on the blow. Oh, he was right. He found out how right he was the night we got burgled. Thugs burst into the shop and started tearing up the place, and me dad just cowered there and gave them everything they wanted. When the robbers were off collecting their booty, I picked up me hammer and started swinging, took the face off one of them, and the other two turned and ran into the night. From then on, I was the shop's bouncer. Me da never made me work the forge again, and I got it into me head that there might be another way to live me life. I told me ma that I wanted to get out, to see the world, and to learn to fight, and she said, "Oh, you can break people's bones just fine here at home, you don't need to go anywhere else to do it." She said I had to choose, me travels or me family. It wasn't an easy decision. But here we are. You know, I think I'd like to be alone for a bit. I'm sure I'll feel more like talking about me past some other time. You best not trust that Darrow any... Don't be a stranger.
The time has come for me to ask for your assistance in a personal matter. I've received troubling reports from the Gilded Eye chapter house. In the wake of your recent visit, many of Jesia's followers have been vying for power. The dissenters disapprove of my traveling with you. They believe me soft, or accuse me of being influenced by demonic powers. And I cannot deny that the evidence is compelling. The sooner we do, the easier it will be to rout this rebellion and resume tracking down your demon and its minions. It would be to our strategic advantage to clear this potential front of enemies. Of course, allying with Darrow is not what I would consider a wise strategy. He may, however, be useful in the now, even if he must be cleansed from this world in the time to come. I suppose if we are to travel the Underdark together, it would be well if the two of us came to understand each other better. My youth is of little consequence. Know only that I was a young boy from the southerly reaches of the Sword Coast. My family has Kalishite blood, but we came to these lands generations ago. I was raised with a respect for the sanctity of life and the value of righteousness. My father instilled in me the importance of protecting those who cannot protect themselves. So it was that I found myself pledging my service to Helm in my 20th year. It was a glorious revelation to give of oneself in the veneration of and supplication to such a powerful patron as the Guardian. I quickly became squire to Rochelt Panagrin, a knight of the Order of the Gauntlet. Rochelt mentored me in the ways of battle and in the doctrines of Helm. It was through his teaching that I learned the true meaning of taking up the sword for the Guardian. And it is through his loss that I became who I am. Indeed, his screams, his corpse, these I shall never forget. Rochelt and I rode out to battle at Helm's Hold to stop an invasion of devils from establishing a foothold on this plain. We fought fiercely to defeat the fiends, but my mentor and I were separated, and I saw him disappear beneath an onslaught of infernal flesh. By the time the battle was over and I reached his side, he was unrecognizable. The devils had taken all that made him Rochelt Panagrin and turned him into a lifeless corpse, defiled and desecrated. To this day, I cannot forget the image. The split cheeks, the crushed skull, the collapsed and sundered chest. No, it is more than that. It is unforgivable. I have devotions to perform. Perhaps we will revisit the past another time. As you will.
What do you need? Everything I've heard about the Duergar tells me that Grackle Stew is no place for a woman like me. I enjoy dancing, singing, and other forms of social amusement. A life that's all about work sounds terribly boring. Though, I guess that depends on the work. Let me continue my story. I had met up with rangers in the Ard'D forest. They taught me all kinds of things, not just how to track and hunt, but also the secrets of nature's predators and prey. The Ard'D became home, until the elves of the Eldrith Valuthra found us. They had sworn to clear the forest of all humans, to return it to its natural state. We had a tiny problem with that. So we fought, and as things tend to go with elves, they won. They did. We had to split up in case the elves came hunting for us. I disappeared into the Neverwinter Wood, surviving on my wits and my wilds, until the day Bellamy found me. He told me of the Burning Dawn. He said they would train us, equip us, pay us, feed us, and it sounded too good to be true. But I could tell my dear brother was sick and starving, and so I agreed to join him in the Order. Yes, almost. My mentors in the Burning Dawn saw something in me that no one else had. They began training me for leadership. That's why I was in the other caravan, and that's why I was captured rather than killed. Our captors noticed the others deferring to me, and assumed I was the field leader. They threw me in that cell and tortured me, until there was almost nothing left. Thank all the gods that will listen that you arrived when you did. I would still have made my escape, but would I have survived the attempt? I am not so sure. Well, yes, I can. But even a sly young woman such as myself can only do so much to charm a castle full of zealous knights. I would have taken many out before I fell, but Jasiah, I think, would have slit me stem to stern. I'm afraid there isn't anything else of interest. You've bled me dry, so to speak. From here out, we make history as we go. Come back anytime. I'll be waiting.
What do you need? We have the most wonderful travelling companions. First a drow, and now a derro. If I weren't pretty much constantly afraid that one or the other would kill me just to harvest my spine, I'd be really impressed. Would it be alright if we talked about my past another time? I'd rather try to focus on the quest or whatever. Alright, you know where to find me.
I can do that. Of course.
I saw you speaking with Lydia. I have seen this list of hers with the names of drow slaves whom Tezzeret hoped to save. And yes, I have heard of Lady Zinciana. I am a diviner and a spy, my friend. Lady Zinciana is a high priestess of Lolth. It would amuse her to keep a moon elf slave. She would lavish him with gifts and praise and take it all away at the slightest provocation. She ministers at the shrine of Lolth at Undok. I'll happily mark it on our map if you and Lydia want to confront her. I don't know Zinciana well, but what I do know of her tells me that this world is better off without her in it. Do I need any other reason? Legions of grey dwarves marching in unison like clockwork. I sense a dangerous mind subjugated by something even more powerful. Hazy, but inevitable without a doubt. Let me continue my story. Our trip through the Underdark has stirred memories long forgotten. Memories of my brother and I fleeing, and our sister pursuing. Tasilis protected me the best he could until I reached the age of 20. By then, my mother's dishonor over my continued survival had reached a dangerous level, and my brother decided that we needed to abandon Menzoberranzan. We fled through the Underdark, unsure where to go or whom to trust, our sister seemingly moments behind us at all times. We both honed our magical abilities, and we used them to remain undetected. We were on the run for more than 30 years before our sister finally caught up with us. We escaped, but barely, and my brother decided that our talents alone were not enough. He began to seek out darker protection. Tasilis sought out a powerful patron, giving himself over to the study of dark magics. I could sense Belafos's abyssal influence coursing through my brother from the beginning. He became rougher, meaner, more impatient, more unpredictable. Eventually, I came to fear him. Still, I confronted him, and he nearly killed me in his rage. I fled, searching for a way to the surface, and I fell into the arms of Bragan Death, who promised protection in return for service. And here we are. I am who I am, and Tasilis is who he is. Neither of us will likely change the other, and so there is but one way this can end. No, I truly do not. I suppose that defeating Belafos could free him from service, but the brother that saved me from a sacrificial death no longer exists. It has been wonderful. We must do this again sometime. A moment of your time, if I may. Perhaps you've heard of Benyago Kurth, the High Captain of Ship Kurth in Luskan. I have received a missive from him, and I'd like to share it with you. My friend, it has been too long since we spoke, but I do not forget those whose actions have helped me in the past. The time has come that I repay a debt long past due. I have information regarding the whereabouts of your sister, the Lady Talistra. Should you find yourself interested, contact our mutual friend Valag. He will facilitate your reunion. Yes, she was. My past with Talistra is complicated. But when High Captain Kurth decides to pay a debt, one does not let that offer dry on the vine. I haven't met with Valag in a long time, but he is a friend from far back. If he is to be the agent of Beniargo's favor, then he will make his presence known, likely in the Underdark. If we have a moment to breathe on this quest, then I would be very grateful for a chance to look into this. I don't foresee it distracting us for long. In the meantime, is there anything I can do for you? Legions of Grey... I have filled you in on my team. It has been wonderful.
Right away. As you wish. At once. I can do that. Right away.
How can you serve the illustrious Lord of the Dark? I see no one here trusts me. But I am always what I am. You just have to figure out what that is. It's not as if I like to dismember people randomly. I choose very deliberately. For example, if you're a friend of mine, you get priority. No, I said they get priority. Keep up. Well, therein lies a tale. I was born fully formed in the coin purse of a Kuatoa named Flibblebloop. No, wait, it was his belt pouch. Either way, I killed him. I wasn't always Lord of the Dark, you know. There were others before me, and there will be others after me. That's how time works. I figured that out. Me. Needless to say, I was surrounded by cracked eggshells and a wall of bones that I called Muro. And it wasn't enough. I had to do something, and I don't remember what that something was. So, I'll tell you this other story. There was one time I was captured by ogres and taken to a forest of myconid houses. That was a low time in my life. I remember it fondly. Long story short, I escaped from my bindings, slaughtered the ogres single-handedly, and I fed their flesh to the myconid children. I became a mushroom hero that day, moments before they exiled me for also killing myconids. Shh! He can hear you. Or he could if he were alive. Well, she does she? Well, tell her I will gladly bury Golgman the instant she comes over here and gives me a stern expression. On second thought, not even then. No, not even the baleful eyes of a surface elf can frighten me. I am the Lord of the Dark! You know what? Take it. Golgman was acting strange anyway. Insisting that he's the king of the Sturges, that sort of thing. I hope that elf is happy. Yes, I'm starting to feel stabby.
As you wish.
Have you spoken to Dalanir yet? Thank you. I will perform the final rites over her at our first opportunity. At last, my mentor and savior can find rest. There is nothing more to tell. The Lady of... Have you spoken to Thank you. The sooner we find Zinziana, the sooner we can free my old friend. The Lady of Dreams go with you.
I can do that. Of course.